You're listening to the NCF&B Podcast. The North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast takes you behind the scenes of North Carolina's food and beverage industry. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NCFB Pod, presented by Food Scene. That's foodscene.com, providing professional photography, social media management, video production, and website design. And now, enjoy the show.
Listening again to the NCF&B Podcast. I'm your co-host, Max Trujillo.
And I'm your co-host, Matthew Weiss. And we continue our day here at Euphoria, Greenville, with the likes of one pitmaster by the name of Matthew Register from Southern Smoke out there in Garland, North Carolina. Sans Air Jordans today. We'll get into that later. And his sous chef, Rodolfo Sandoval. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
Rodolfo, I do like how you mimed the words of Matt saying your name. As he said Rodolfo Sandoval, you're like,
I want to make sure that he gets it right.
Yeah.
First public appearance.
Actually, he just tells people his name is James with a Y.
With James with a Y.
James.
It's James with a Y. That's my Starbucks name. Because I've been called Rolando.
Right.
Rolando,
oh, yeah.
Ricardo.
It's all over the place. Just James with a Y.
Before we even get into this other guy, this old guy next to you, you cooked one beast of a meal on Cinco de Mayo out in Garland. I think it was Cinco de Mayo, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. We went out there. Oh, my God, it was so delicious. We went down to Garland. If you haven't been to Garland, it's about an hour and a half south of Raleigh, roughly. 90 minutes, 93 minutes maybe.
We're an hour and 15 minutes from Carter Finley Stadium.
That's right.
There you go.
Matthew was going to cook this amazing feast for Cinco de Mayo, and there were a few things that happened in your family, and it changed your pattern, and you needed some help, so you called upon your sous chef, and you stepped up to the plate, man. You made food from all over the regions of Mexico and had these 4 or 5 different stations of food. It blew me away. I'm, native to California, so I get a lot of great Mexican food. And
oh, no, they have amazing food there in Texas, all of the Southwest.
But you made me feel like I was back home with what you did.
And that's what I was going for, and the situation we went through.
To make Max feel at home. That's what you were going for.
To make Max feel at home.
Yeah. He put a picture of me above the kitchen. Yeah, so he knew.
I knew Max was coming, and I knew he was from California, so I was like, okay, I really got to step up this time.
Yep.
But honestly, like you were saying, we had to change things a couple of times. Well, with the situation going on.
We're talking about
Southern Smoke.
The passing of Matt's
grandfather. And at Southern Smoke, this standard we're held up to, like, not only him, but, like, also I. And we don't only hold each other accountable for that. But anytime we need it, if I'm feeling down or if he's down or something's going on, we both got to step up. Or if not, if he's down one day, I'll be there. And if I'm down one day, he's got to be there. It's more than just, like, coworkers or like me working for him. It's a family.
Yeah.
And he could tell you that.
I love it. Matthew?
Yeah, there's no doubt. We knew in the weeks coming to it, that it may happen, and I basically called him and I was like, listen, the menu, you and I, have worked through this menu, you know how to execute it, but I got to have you. And he knocked it out of the park.
Can I just interject for a second? Because a lot of people might not know what we're talking about, but every year on Cinco de Mayo, you make a huge meal, and it's...
Yeah, that's kind of our... is turning into our May supper series.
Okay.
Is that first weekend. So, in fact, we were talking about it last night. This year, we're going to start a pot of mole on January 1st and cook it until the supper series on the first Saturday in May.
Wow.
We're never going to stop.
5-month mole.
5-month mole.
Is that something that really happens in Mexico?
It's happened. There's a guy in Mexico
City.
Tell you
Mexico City.
Who's done it for more than a year now.
He's had the mole. I think I saw Hugh Atchison was there. The mole is at 1,839 days.
Holy cow!
Wow.
So
And that's just, like
we're
the
gonna not
flavor's
tell.
just...
We're not gonna tell the health inspector that we're doing it, but
Well, don't worry, no one listens to this podcast, so
Yeah,
you're fine.
so you're
well,
fine.
we'll put it on, when he comes. We'll put it on the food truck. We'll run it outside and put it on the food truck. So,
Well, let's get into what's been going on recently. So we unfortunately just incurred Hurricane Florence. Pretty devastating for East North Carolina. There's been a lot of coverage everywhere, and even on our own podcast, the last 2 episodes we released, we're talking about the coastline and how it was affected. But you've been doing a lot of recovery work down in Garland, because Garland got hit really hard. All 2 streets of your town were hit hard.
man, why you got to beat on my town, man? Always beating on my town. Come on.
But what have you been doing, though, to help out?
Yeah, we, Garland was okay. Our caution light stayed up. The Piggly Wiggly was only closed for 36 hours.
Oh, thank God.
So, but man, you go 2 miles in any direction, and it's just devastation. I mean, it's just people. And the crazy thing about this is there are still people from 2 years ago from Hurricane Matthew that they were just getting back on their feet, and now they've lost everything again, man. And it's been a hard week. I mean, it really, really has been a hard week, and we didn't have a whole lot of food because our food truck comes on Wednesdays, so we weren't flush with food. And I talked with the owner of the Piggly Wiggly, and I said, before meat goes bad, I got to have it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we have to have it. And it opened up that we had a swiftwater rescue team from Sacramento. These guys drove 50 hours straight.
Jeez.
They never stopped.
From Sacramento, California.
They would stop and refuel. They would eat when they refueled and keep getting it. And they never stopped. And they were staying in like a rescue building.
Wow.
In Garland, and we can see the rescue building from the restaurant. And so I told Jessica on Saturday night, I mean, it was still bad. You know, this was one of those things where usually a hurricane goes 18 hours later, it's sunny and hot and humid. This thing didn't stop.
Yeah.
And
then we had tornado warnings.
I mean, even up until Monday night, we had a tornado touchdown 8 miles from our house. And but all of a sudden we start seeing linemen and police cars and first responders, and they're in Garland. But guess what? There's nothing open. And so these guys are out there trying to get our power on. They're out there saving people, and they're living off of Little Debbie cakes, Lance Nabs, MREs, but have you ever eaten an MRE?
What is an MRE?
That's a meal ready
to eat.
Meal ready to eat. See, that's why I like
sous chef right there bailing out.
But that's what they were living on. And I told Jessica on Saturday night, I said, I got power at my restaurant. We'll start thawing out whatever we have and
just feeding them.
We're going to feed them. And so the whole week, we have fed lunch and dinner to anywhere from 80 to sometimes there'd be 20 standing there, and then you'd go 20 or 30 minutes and another 30 would show up.
Wow.
It was basically, we would tell our local police chief, put it on the radio, we were going to have, it was almost like a dinner bell. I would send them text and say, dinner's going to be ready at 6:30.
Yeah.
And, the cool thing, we turned the lights on in the back, and I posted earlier in the week, we've done a lot of really cool supper series, and we've had, Dean Neffs came and Bill Smith came, and those lights are almost associated with the supper series and it being so special because those nights are so special. But this week, that was the best supper series we ever did, and it wasn't because of the menu, but it was because, these guys, I sat with heroes.
Yeah. Because
these guys are the first guys that first boots on the ground when a disaster happens from FEMA. I mean, the head guy was at Katrina, was one of the first 2 teams that went in at Katrina, and was the first guy that walked off the plane in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
So, I mean, these guys are real-life heroes. And it just broke my heart to think that those guys came all the way from California to help us. And
they got to eat Debbie cakes.
Yeah, and there ain't no wrong with a Debbie cake now.
Well,
I mean, I like a little Debbie cake now.
Hey, did you fully support this all on your own? Did you get subsidized at all, or
No.
like this is 100% cost to you?
This is 100% cost Southern Smoked. I don't care.
Amazing.
And here's the way I view it. You guys are dads. One day, my sons or my daughter may be in another part of America helping people, and that's what I want somebody to do for my kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, they're heroes.
Yeah, well, he
And-
kept that picture of me above the kitchen.
Yeah,
It's still up there. So he thinks
yeah.
about us and our kids every time he cooks.
Yeah, actually, I am disappointed because y'all's better halves are not here, and that's really who I wanted to see.
So much goes into those stories,
I mean,
Matthew.
you know,
I know, and nobody's bringing us drinks this year or food, or
I miss them.
yeah,
and that was the first thing I asked him.
Pod
I was
babes.
like, "Will you tell me is the lovely and talented with you?" And he said no, and I said, "Well, yeah, I'll try to make it."
See you when I see you.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's switch gears a little bit.
Yep.
In speaking of my lovely wife,
Yep.
you two have been working together on a secret project.
We have.
Are you going to announce this project? Because it's something that...
Yeah, I mean, I think we can. You know, they've told us that we can talk about.
Can
it.
we say this?
Yeah,
All right.
I
So
think
you and I
so.
also
Say
secretly
it.
been...
Say it.
We've been
Say
secretly
it.
working on a small thing. It's so crazy. We're building it all up, and they're like, "Wait, it's just a goddamn podcast." All right, who cares?
Yeah, but we
you
have
and I have
been
been
working on
talking
a
about a
secret-
podcast about what?
About my new cookbook that comes out in May. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so you hired Miss Felicia Perry Trujillo of
Yeah,
Food Scene
she was
to shoot the book.
And actually, I mean, she was my first choice. And I love the fact that I called Felicia and I was like, "Listen, I don't know if you're interested, if you want to do it." And she was like, "Yep, I'm in."
Yeah.
And I didn't fully expect to get the whole package when I got Forrest and Susan and Felicia.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was almost as if they were in my mind on how I wanted this book to look. You know, where it's very much our style. You know, there are some things that have to be very pretty and plated, but then there's also things that are barbecue stuff that just need to be like on a raw surface and
Rustic.
yeah, and it was just, I would walk outside. Rodolfo and I were kind of prepping all the food, and we would walk outside, and Felicia would say, "Look at this picture, unbelievable."
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I mean, it almost made me tear up.
So right now, okay, so what we're saying to like the listeners is that in the idea of making the cookbook, Felicia was now hired, so of course I'm hearing a lot of the behind the scenes. I said to her, like, "Man, wouldn't it be cool to like chronicle the idea of making a cookbook and just follow, you know, Matthew's never made a cookbook before." So, I mean, he can barely even write or read
I
for that
can't
matter.
even speak.
Barely. He wears Jordans. That's pretty much the only thing he can effectively do. And today he's wearing
Which is pretty impressive.
like really ugly
Diodoras? I
Diodora.
don't get it, but
It's wearing like
No,
his
I'm wearing,
dad's shoes.
I'm wearing
Hirachis.
Hirachis today.
Hirachis.
Those are some
Yeah.
ugly kicks
Those
you
are
got on.
old school
Old
Hirachis.
Nikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I
oh.
went a little old school on you today.
Okay.
You weren't expecting that.
I was not expecting
All
that.
right. Aside from hot
Cool.
shoe talk,
You're much cooler now, all of a sudden.
I just was like, Matt's a cool dude. He has a lot to say. His cookbook is going to be different from all the other barbecue cookbooks in the sense that he's really talking about region, he's talking about sides, he's talking about just the whole soul of all this barbecue. And I thought, I want to just interview him. So every week for the past couple months,
until you decided to take a sabbatical and go.
Go to France for a month.
Go to France for a month.
Aside from
which
that
I
one
can't say
time.
anything. I was in Mexico for 10 days.
Yes, but aside from that time, we've been talking and building a kind of like a what we call like a serial episode rather than a bunch of episodes. We're just going to do a finite. I think we're looking at about 10 episodes, and it's just going to be like how to
Write a
make
cookbook.
a cookbook, especially from the perspective of a guy that doesn't know shit about making a cookbook.
Yeah, and
steps.
panic through the whole process.
And
Because there
go
were
through the whole
some
thing.
days, there were some days where you called me and I was like,
Well, you were dealing with the death of your grandfather. You're dealing with hurricanes. You're dealing with the publisher asking you for certain things. Actually, the publisher's been cool this whole time.
Yeah.
But you'll get to learn all of these things when it releases.
Yeah.
The book doesn't come out until the spring.
Yep, May.
But you just finished writing like all the copy and probably going through the editing process now.
We're completely done. They just, in fact, it's funny. They've been holding it. They would not send it to me last week because they knew what was going on. And finally, I got an email Friday morning, and they said, we need you to read back over a copy edit, and we're done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I mean, I was like, are you kidding me?
Picture
what am
done.
I gonna do with my time now? I'm gonna have to like clean our yard and like
feeding all the
landscape.
first responders hurricane relief.
Yeah, I mean, let's and I'm gonna be honest with you. The next month, there's probably a lot of hurricane stuff that we're gonna be doing.
You ever played Golden Tee? That's a good time killer.
No, I've got some other games. I've got this like flying game. Never mind. We were just
Anyhow,
sidetracked.
so do we have a name for the cookbook yet?
It's going to be Southern Smoke, but subtitle, I know it, but I think we're going to just wait.
Okay.
But
when is this book going to be available to purchase?
We're hoping
People are wanting to know.
We just said
there's a blonde-headed lady out there that can probably tell you better than I can.
Blonde-headed lady, get in here.
Yeah. But
It's talking about J and K.
Yeah, J and K. But it probably, we're a little delayed because of hurricane. We want to get the cover is the main thing, and I'm hoping we'll have the cover by this week. So I'm thinking next 3 weeks, October. We'll roll it out.
Who's the publisher?
Quattro Books. They did Elliot Moss's book.
Okay.
So so it's going to be kind of same size. Beautiful pictures. The pictures are just. Everybody's not going to get to see all the pictures.
Yeah.
And that's sad because there are some that are going to get left on the cutting room floor that are just.
You put it in a digital release. There you go.
Yeah,
People can go look there.
But yeah, it's exciting, because it's so regional and it's not just your everyday barbecue book. It's not just about smoked meat.
Now you've got some great stuff from all over. I don't want to give away too much because the show.
Well, give us a little though teaser. Like what? Not just about smoking meat. What else can we kind of expect to see in there?
Duck tamales.
Yeah, I mean, talking about,
you had me there.
And here's the beauty of it. You're going to learn. I want you, when you get done with this book, you're going to be smarter about the food you eat and the food you cook from the South. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn those interesting stories on how Delta tamales ended up in Mississippi and why they're so important. But also, there's a lot of personal stuff in there. There's a lot of personal history about why is it important? Why is cooking barbecue in North Carolina so important? Mm-hmm. And why are there two very distinct sauces? And why are people fighting about it? Those kind of things. So it's a good read, but it's also, I want the hardcore barbecue guy to buy the book, and then his wife end up cooking out of it more than he does.
Right.
Real
quick, does it touch on? There's this whole the guys over at Stanberry, Joseph, the Jeffers turned me on to this.
Will and Joseph.
Will and Joseph. There's a tamale trail.
Yes, there's a Delta tamale trail.
Delta tamale trail.
No, we didn't talk about that.
Okay.
This is just, and it's funny. In the book, I don't teach you how to make perfect Delta tamales.
Okay.
I teach you how to make tamales.
Okay.
With masa and not cornmeal like they do.
Because Rodolfo's shaking his head in approval.
But
right
Rodolfo and I have worked on tamale dough we worked on it for 8 months to get tamale dough right.
That's longer than the mole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we got to get out of here because we got a line of people that got to get up on this show. This is important. These are important seats you got right here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Look,
people are waiting
he's
for
giving
those
us like a hard eye over here.
Yeah,
He's like, "What's up, man? I want to get on this damn
He's
show."
just standing in a bathroom line, man.
Hey, listen, always good to catch up with you at Euphoria Greenville. I know you're teaching a class tomorrow on barbecue and today on barbecue.
Yeah, then we're cooking a little bit tomorrow.
And then you're cooking tomorrow. So, awesome to see you always. let's talk about Jordans next time. You know,
Maybe you and I need to do a 10-episode podcast
about
on shoes.
footwear.
Footwear.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And then like he and I have done on writing a cookbook.
Yeah, and we'll get Felicia to shoot shoes.
Yeah. We'll probably have more downloads because it's about Jordans.
Yeah.
All right,
where you
gents.
got to get them.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Hey, go out to Garland. Go out to see Matthew at Southern Smoke. Buy his book, whatever it's going to be called, Southern Smoke, and then some subtitle. You will eat, drink, again, and read very merrily.
Yeah.